All right. So let's do this. Trust, a lasting legacy. Nope, my bad. Before we get into this, I want to share with y'all the seven simple steps. The seven simple habits of financially successful people. Being financially successful, being financially stable, being an entrepreneur, being a trust administrator is a lifestyle. It's things that you do on a daily basis that enables you to operate at a high level of efficiency and administration. So I like to share the things and some of the precepts and fundamental principles that I have found that help me become successful and help me what I would like to say, get out of the rat race, even though I still have to work, but I don't work for anyone else. So these are seven simple habits of financially successful people. Number one, financially successful people check their statements every month. Matter of fact, I would say financially successful people check their bank accounts at least once a day. I know when I didn't have the mindset of being a financially successful individual, I knew I didn't have money, and a lot of times I didn't pay attention to the accounts that would get overdrawn. I just didn't want to see it. It was embarrassing. It was disheartening. It didn't make me feel good. And we tend to avoid the things that don't make us feel good. But you got to check your bank statements. They're saying monthly. I'm saying at least weekly. I'm every day though. Number two, they plan their estate. Let me read this real quick. Nobody likes to think about dying. Planning your estate can be a depressing task, which makes it extremely easy to put off repeatedly, like forever. But without a will or a trust, you have no control over what happens to your things. Your house, your car, even custody of your children all become subject to the intestacy laws. Intestacy is when you die without a will or a trust of your estate, which may not bear any resemblance to your wishes. Number three, create and stick to a budget. Financially savvy people have a plan for their money. One of the main things I did when I first started, being financially responsible, it's not that I didn't make money. I've always made money. I've always made a lot of money, actually. But I was never financially responsible. I didn't circulate the money properly. I didn't have a budget. So one of the first things I did is I reduced expenses. Cable went out the window. The whole cable package with the phone, all that stuff went out the window. The large data packages for the cell phone plan, that got dropped down to the lowest data package and primarily use Wi-Fi or wait until I get into Wi-Fi. Things like that. Maybe, called and got a better deal on insurance rates. Maybe looked over, their car insurance contract and decided that there were some coverages that weren't necessary or, I could do without and started dropping things. I just went through everything that I spent money on and either eliminated it or reduced it as best as possible. Believe it or not, I started shopping at thrift stores. You can find some nice stuff at thrift stores. You go to the thrift store, find something that's a size or so bigger or, just barely, fits, and then bring it to the tailor. Straight up. And have the tailor, measure you, and they're going to tailor these clothes that you bought to your actual body. And I'm going to tell you this, I used to be in entertainment, and I brought up Brand International. It's not about the brand of the clothes. It's how well the clothes fit you that makes it look good. So I would definitely say stop buying these name brand clothes. You don't have to buy name brand clothes. And I'm not saying you have to go to the thrift store, but, stop buying other clothes that look real nice that aren't name brand, save your money, and then bring them to the tailor have them tailored to your, I'm telling you, they will look like brand names. People, where'd you get that? It looks so nice on you. Where'd you get it? They want it. They see how it looks on you, and they want it to look like that on them. And they ask you what, and you, it's custom made. And watch how they look at you. Meanwhile, you're spending less money on clothes than they would if they're going to the department store trying to look like you, or, the models they see on TV, or the rappers, or the, whatever. That's a big deal. Number 4, they live below their means. You've got to spend less money than you need. If you got a W-2 job, it's impossible to pay yourself first, because you're paying FICA, you're paying Social Security tax, you're paying all that stuff first. And that's being sent to the Internal Revenue Service. But once you get the paycheck and you cash it, man, go buy some silver. Go buy 1 ounce of silver, man. It's like $20, less than that. If it's more than $20, walk out and go somewhere else, because they're trying to get you. A gram of gold is around $54, $57 right now. Yeah, I'm still doing carat bars. I mean, you can dollar cost average purchasing precious metals. What is that? That's saving, as far as I'm concerned, paying yourself and saving. You're not going to really make a bunch of money on owning precious metals. If the money goes up, that means the currency is going down, and that means that the prices for goods and services are going up. So it's going to be nominal with the, how much your metals are worth. But what you're going to do is preserve your purchasing power, which means as the value of the dollar goes down, it takes more dollars to buy milk or clothes or groceries, rice milk, almond milk. I ain't talking about I hope you don't drink cow milk. But the purchasing power is going to be preserved in that precious metal. And that's how I pay myself first. I buy precious metals. There's only a couple times, sometimes, let me be honest, there's sometimes I don't pay myself first. There's other things going on that are more important. Number 6, they invest. You got to make investments. Whether it's investment in your own business, that's one of the first investments I would make. I'm not even talking about stocks. You invest in your own business. Going down and filing your own LLC, paperwork at the Secretary of State or whatever, business divisions, that's an investment. Learning the skills needed to successfully run that LLC or that corporation, that's an investment. And it's not just stocks. And it's not just a diversified portfolio. An investment, if you purchase a home, I consider a multi-family home, like a duplex and up, an investment. I consider single-family homes liabilities, because this is going to take money out of your pocket versus put money in your pocket. Whereas if you get a duplex or something like that and you rent out the other part, you have a high chance of at least breaking even. So the property isn't taking anything from you, and it's not giving anything from you, but that's not an investment. Number 7, they are conscious about money. I went out to dinner with friends one night. We went to a sushi spot, but I don't like the idea of eating raw fish. There are a lot of options at sushi restaurants, and I ended up ordering some cucumber avocado sushi, which is significantly less expensive than the fancy dragon rolls and rainbow rolls that my dinner companions were eating. At the end of the night, we split the bill evenly. I didn't eat nearly the same amount of food, but enjoyed my time with my friends and was okay with splitting the bill evenly amongst all of us. It wasn't going to break me financially, and it wasn't something I did thinkly. But it was something they did thinkly. A lot of people do this stuff. They spend money. They feel like they deserve it. I worked all week. I've been working for 2 weeks or all month and stuff, and I deserve this. You're playing yourself. It's time to get fiscally responsible. And then real quick, let me jump into this. Congress, Honorable, let me see, hold on. Who wrote this? Alex Mooney. He's a member of Congress. He wrote to the chairman of the U.S. Commodity Futures Traders Commission. This is cold. This is cold. He says, late last year, the U.S. Justice Department obtained a guilty plea from a former commodities trader for J.P. Morgan Chase & Company to charges of manipulating the gold and silver markets between 2009 and 2015. And its investigation into the actions of related parties is ongoing. The period at issue substantially overlaps the time during which your commission was investigating complaints of manipulation of the silver market, 2008 to 2013. However, in 2013, the commission announced that it had closed its investigation without finding any wrongdoing. Why did the commission fail to find the wrongdoing? The Justice Department has confirmed and continues to investigate. Woo! That's a tough question. Also, will the commission now be reopening its investigation into silver market manipulation and opening an investigation into gold market manipulation? If not, why not? Also, I read with interest the July 28th and September 21st, 2018 letters sent to your commission by the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, and I reviewed the reply by the commission's Legislative Affairs Director, N. Charles Thornton III. I am disappointed that Mr. Thornton sent what appeared to be a form of letter to brush off the serious questions the Gold Antitrust Committee posed. Thornton did not seem to acknowledge the questions put to the commission, much less answer them. I enclose copies of these letters for your review. As we conduct our own research into the fairness and competitiveness of our country's markets, particularly with respect to the monetary assets such as gold and silver, and because I believe the commission has a responsibility to address these questions conscientiously. I used to say this word. I wish to reiterate and elaborate on them. One, Gada asserts that recently on certain trading days in New York futures markets, there have been big discrepancies between the preliminary gold open interest and final open interest reported. If this is correct, is this correct? And if so, what explains it? Does it imply market manipulation? He goes on to cite 5 more questions that he has. And he asked to please let him know whether the commission is aware the U.S. government and other governments are trading in U.S. futures markets directly or indirectly. What else did he say? He said something about foreign companies or foreign countries being able to manipulate the market by actually calling or making purchases or making orders for contracts of precious metals, gold and silver and whatnot, but then not fulfilling the orders, which may or may not manipulate. I don't really understand, the market enough to understand how it could potentially be manipulated. But I do know that there are some things happening in the background, and I don't think, what these people are saying as far as like the market downturn or something has to do with, lack of consumer spending and so on and so forth. Like there's a systemic and intrinsic fault and crack in the economy and as well in, the financial system. And that includes, the COMEX markets and these different markets that, trade commodities, futures, and stuff like that. And now we can get into the show after I do this. Are y'all up on HR? Man, they didn't even put the number in here. Where's the number? $67.90. Oh no, I'll get back to you on that. The 116th Congress, first session, to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to clarify that gain or loss on the sale or exchange of certain coins or bullion is exempt from recognition. This act may be cited as the Monetary Metals Tax Neutrality Act of 2019. In general, no gain or loss shall be recognized on the sale or exchange of gold, silver, platinum, or palladium coins minted and issued by the Secretary at any time, or refined gold or silver bullion coins, bars, rounds, or ingots, which are valued primarily based on their metal content and not their form. So this has been a heated debate. You purchase some gold or some silver, and it seems like the price of gold and silver rises. So let's say you purchase 5 gold coins and 100 silver coins, and you purchase them for, I don't know, let's say altogether you paid $10,000. I'm just saying a number off the top of my head. So $10,000 went in. Now you got these 5 coins and these, several hundred, coins of silver. Now, due to stock markets, futures, exchanges, and so on and so forth, the nominal value of gold and silver rises. And when you go to sell that gold and silver, you have to pay taxes on the gains of what it was worth when you bought it, comparatively to the worth when you sold it. Still the same gold, still the same amount of gold when it happened. And, the gain itself was, to me, a loss. Because due to the fact that the Federal Reserve pushes for 2% inflation on the currency per year, that means 5 years, that's 10%. So if you buy gold, right, and hold it for 5 years, 5 years later, it's going to cost 10% more Federal Reserve notes to get the same amount of gold that you bought 10 years before. Think about that. So if you buy a basket of goods that cost $100 today, just with how the Fed does it, will cost you $150 in 50 years. I'm sorry, in 10 years, 20 years. So it's still the same milk, still the same bread, still the same eggs, but you have to submit more Federal Reserve notes to acquire these items. I want y'all to sit down and think about how ridiculous that is. Just for a second, just think how ridiculous. Now, wages aren't keeping up with inflation, so the value of these dollars notes that you're receiving for the exchange of your labor are depreciating, but your wages and increases aren't keeping up with the inflation or the technical deflation of the currency. And that's something to think about. This is the type of situation you're in. That's why I say pay yourself first. When you get paid, buy some silver, buy some gold. It's not an investment. It's more like savings or a hedge, and it's in your best interest. All right. Wow. So the computer restarted on its own, so I can't see anything, but that's fine. I'm gonna start the show. So trust, a lasting legacy. Honestly, a good friend of mine, his 13-year-old daughter committed suicide last Wednesday. She hung herself. I went to the visitation on Monday, been hanging with my guy, giving him as much support as possible, and I went to the funeral today. So my mood is a little bit off. And in this experience, and this is not the first funeral I've been to, but this is the youngest person that I've ever seen in a casket. And it just so happened that the services were held in the same funeral home where the services were held for my brother when he committed suicide. And this is the first time I've been back into this funeral home since I was in there with my brother. So I was dealing with a lot of emotions. My guy was breaking down. It was really hard to handle this shit. So it got me thinking, thinking about legacy, thinking about what we leave. She was very talented. She was a singer. She played a lot of instruments. She was 13. She was a prodigy or something. And, obviously her legacy was her creation. She made a lot of videos. She sang a lot of songs. She had a great voice. But I'm looking around the room, and I'm looking at all the people in the room, and I'm asking myself, because I'm always thinking about this stuff. I wonder how many of these people actually have a private trust set up for their family. Now, I don't know the law or the terms of life insurance contracts when it comes to suicide. I'm pretty sure the contracts are void if you kill yourself. And I'd have to talk to my insurance guy. If I got insurance on one of my children and they killed themselves, would it pay out? But that was another thing I was thinking about. I doubt that this little girl was insured, any type of life insurance. And it got me thinking. Not only got me thinking, but it really made me appreciate, because I have daughters that are really at the same age. They're the same age. Period. They're the same age as this girl that was laying in this box, man. And it got me to thinking about legacy. And honestly, as I'm sitting there thinking about legacy, listening to the hymns and the songs and the prayers and people giving their stories and the reading of the obituary and the reading of, Bible verses and so on and so forth, it hit me that I have properly upheld my responsibility as a father, as a protector, as a provider, by setting up my family's private estate and by acquiring life insurance policies on me. And it made me feel good. It made me appreciate what I've done, all the work I put in, all the hours of reading and studying and consulting and mentoring and flying across the country to be mentored by private individuals and so on and so forth. It made me really appreciate that. Now, this little girl loved people. She loved to help people. She loved the homeless. And, we're standing around as much as we can, trying to support, the parents who lost this child. And this is my guy's only child, man. Attempting to console these people. And because I administer a private family foundation, I was able to tell them that, if you need anything, let me know. And I didn't say specifically if you need money for a cause that your daughter believed in, let me know and let's do it together, because I didn't think it was the time. But if you need anything, let me know. And really what I meant by that is I want to assist in advancing this child's legacy. Out of the sorrow of this moment, of this time for this family and for us, I would like to bring out some positive. But I felt bad because he doesn't have the same structures. I know he doesn't. And this stuff, this private stuff, man, this private trust stuff, let's just say that, private estate stuff, man, you can't give anybody a trust. Look, you can't give it to them unless they're very interested in studying and understanding the administration of these private entities, private family foundations, family trust, business trust, asset protection trust, whatever, charitable trust, whatever. Unless you understand the nuances of administration and you're willing to study and deal with ongoing education, you're not going to properly administer. It's going to be a burden. And what do we do with burdens? We ignore them, just like our negative bank accounts that we don't check. We ignore them. And it further solidified the charitable nature by which the foundation operates here on High Frequency Radio Network. That the mission of the trust, the foundation trust, is to help reestablish the underlying understanding of economy, money, and entities all used to do business in the commercial realm, and to protect money, real estate, property, corporate shares, whatever, from the litigious public sector. There's lawyers, man, all they do is sue people. All they do is run around and sue people. And these are protections. They also offer an avenue to, in this situation that I'm talking about, grieve with purpose. With a private family foundation, you can grieve with purpose. You can't hold these people anymore. You can't hug them. You can't kiss them. You can't call them and text them and tell them that you love them no more. But you can remember what was important to them. The charitable things that they did with their own free time. Like this young lady, this young, beautiful angel had volunteered, I think, for Habitat for Humanity and had traveled to Mexico and was assisting the building of houses for economically disenfranchised people in Mexico who had never owned a home. With a private family foundation, with a family trust, it makes it more conducive to carry on such a legacy in the name of those who've passed. You don't need a family foundation. You can create a business trust with the specific stated purpose of transacting in those actions that were close to the heart of your lost one, which will bring you closer to the memory of the one you miss. Of the one that you can no longer hug, talk to, kiss on the forehead, crack jokes on, talk about their toes, so on and so forth. Keep their memory alive by partaking in charitable activities. You can name the trust after that family member, that friend who has passed. And the purpose of the trust, the thrust of the trust indenture, may be crafted to keep that memory alive, to make this person proud. Also to make us and allow us to, in a lot of ways, make up for all the things that we weren't able to do, that we weren't able to say, or the things that we did do and did say to this person and wasn't able to say we're sorry. You see, losing a family member, losing a friend, losing a close person in your life is very traumatic. And there's really nothing that we can do that will absolutely help us through this grieving process. But with the proper estate set up, with your proper trusts, your family foundation, whatever, you are in a position to provide a lasting legacy for this person. To put action to grief, and do good in the name of your lost one. My brother committed suicide. I created a trust in his name. Matter of fact, there's I own a technology company. I'm a consultant and stuff like that. I use his name to do business. I have clients who call me and call me by my brother's name. I created a trust, an irrevocable trust that will never die, with his children as the beneficiaries. So his name will live on for as long as it is properly administered. You see, in situations of loss, we find ourselves looking and trying to figure out things that we can do, not only to pass the time, but to take our mind off of what we're dealing with. When really, I'm the type of person to let it burn. I don't really like escaping. And through that burning, take action and focus and form this high-level emotion for positive good and change. So that we can create a lasting legacy for those that we love and those that we loved. You see, none of us is going to live forever. Some of us are going to die before we even thought about it. What do you want to leave? How do you want to be remembered? What legacy are you going to leave for those whom you leave behind? For those whom will miss you, for those who, the closest ones to you are going to, they're going to hold on to your shirts and your pants or your coat and be very upset when the scent begins to fade. Because they feel like it's another part of you that's fading. And when you pass, is your family going to fall apart? Are you one of the people in the family that keeps it together? Don't you want another person there to help keep the family together? That person is a trust. None of us know when we're going to go. Tomorrow is not promised. Yesterday is gone. And I'm a firm believer that tomorrow never comes. It's always today. And when it comes to that lasting legacy, what are you doing today in preparation for tomorrow? I like to take an example from, the ancient Egyptians and their tombs and the mummification and, the acquiring of gold amulets and statues and so on and so forth they put in their burial chambers. And I know a lot of that stuff had to do with reincarnation or the thoughts and understandings of reincarnation. But that's legacy. You got Europeans breaking open them, tomb robbing. And all the items and the meticulous attention to detail with regards to the mummification and, the reliefs that were painted and stuff, that is the legacy. It speaks to ages to those of the present who did not know you, but now they know of you. What do you want to leave for your family? What legacy do you want to leave for your family? And when is it time to put down the ideation and worship of success and pick up the want of significance? Do you want to be forgotten in 30 years, 3 generations? How many of you can name your great-grandparents? How many of you can name your great-great-grandparents? What connection do you truly have to your ancestors? And are you willing to accept that that's the way it's going to be, or are you going to stand up and do something different for your family, for those that you look at that love you, possibly depend on you, that need you, that chose you, that respect you, that honor you? What are you going to leave for them? After all the crying and the hugging and the tears and the sniffles and the whys, it's time to get significant. This has had a significant effect on me. But at the same time, it has allowed me to take stock in my life and my choices leading up to today and be relatively good with the choices that I've made. Relatively good with the situation that I've created for my family. It took a lot of sacrifice. It took a lot of Federal Reserve notes. I invested in just notes over $30,000 into my private education in a time frame of 9 months. But it changed my life. It changed the life of my family. And I know I could have a stroke or an aneurysm right now and drop dead. I'm not leaving my family with debt. They don't have to worry about none of the debt. There ain't gonna be no debt collectors calling. They're not going to have to run around and try to find all the accounts that Daddy had. They're not going to have to go and retitle a bunch of property and pay retitle fees and registration fees and stuff like that. They're not going to have to deal with that. I'm steadily reducing the burdens that are otherwise inflicted when an individual passes, that their family has to deal with. It's going to be easy. You don't have to go and find Daddy's accounts. Just go into the safe and pull out that minute that shows your names as successor trustees and go to the bank and take over the account that's already there. You ain't got to go in there with a death certificate, baby. Maybe you're not ready for that death certificate. Maybe you're not ready to see that right now. I want to give you time. So you're a successor of the trust. All you got to do is go in there with that signed minute, showing your name as a successor of the trust, and show them your identification. And you will have full control over all the accounts, baby. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be hard. But actually having to do it may be hard, but the actual getting it done is not going to be hard. It's going to be relatively easy. I don't want to burden you. Life insurance policy is in with the trust indenture. Just find it. It's in there. The number to call is highlighted. All you have to do is say, issue it to the beneficiary. Because the beneficiary is the family trust. And now that you're the successor, now you have control over the family trust. When those policies pay out into the family trust, baby, pay off the properties. So you don't have to worry about mortgages or nothing like that. Disperse money to, some money to our private family foundation. And you and all your siblings get out of the country. Go to the Cayman Islands or something. Go to Cabo San Lucas. Just get away. Turn your phone off. And take your time. Death comes for all of us. at some time. You never know when it's going to be. Are your affairs in order? Are your children going to have to not only deal with the loss of their loved one, but also have to figure out how to probate or, not probate, but how to administer the estate. Try to figure out if there's a will. Where's the will? Fight with their siblings. Who gets what? Got the brother going in the house and took the TV and the couch and stuff like that. You walk in the house and your daddy's house is tore up and the couch and the TV's gone. That's going to be hard. That's going to make it more emotionally hard. You got to figure out where the accounts are. Where's my dad's money? Where's daddy's money? Nah, you ain't dealing with that, baby. You ain't going to deal with that. You're going to go in the safe. You're going to find the trust indentures. You're going to find instructions. You're going to find a lot of precious metals, and you're going to find instructions on how to find all the other property, all the other precious metals, where they're at, how to go get them. The keys to any safe deposit boxes. It's going to be right in there with the trust. You're a successor of the business trust. Go get access to the business trust account. Write a check from the business trust account to the family trust and dissolve the trust and close the account. You have the power to do that. You don't have to go get permission. You got to drive down to the Secretary of State or drive down to the courthouse and find parking and jostle with people trying to get in the elevator and go and talk to some weird dude in a robe trying to handle your daddy's stuff. You ain't got to do that. Don't worry about that. All the instructions are in the trust. Take care of it when you're ready. And that's where I'm at with it, And that's where I want y'all to be at with it, I know there's a lot of people on here, in the public, in the conscious community, like, oh my God, we're really just trying to get over on people. When I talk about trustee training, it's not because I need money. I'm trying to get right too. While I'm contemplating my sins, I'm thinking, God, man, and I'm racing to make them up. I don't need your fiat. I just need you to initiate an energy exchange. I need you to give something up so that you value what you're about to receive. Otherwise, all my effort is in vain. And you won't value it, and you won't use it, and you won't teach it. Because if you value it, you're going to tell everybody about it, and you're going to tell people, hey, this is what you need to do, and you got to do this, and this is where it's at. If you value it, if you don't sit somewhere and don't study and get all caught up in your life, and it's a waste. But with the family trust, you are creating a lasting legacy for multiple generations. The successors of the family trust are your children or your heirs, your nieces and your nephews. Them having to work together as trustees is going to bring them together. When I pass, my estate isn't going to be divided up amongst my children and they all go wherever they want to go. One goes to Cayman, one goes to, Europe, the other one goes to Japan. It's not going to, they have to work together as the board of trustees to administer the estate. Make decisions together. It's going to bring them together, not force them apart. It's a family unifying entity with a lot of benefits and protections. And when we're talking about trust, we're talking about significance. We're not talking about success. We're not talking about how cool you are. Trust is private. You're under non-disclosure. You can't brag about it. It's not for cool points. It's for legacy. how do you want to be remembered? And how stressed out do you want your family to be when you pass? How many burdens are they going to have after you're gone? It's up to you. 100%. All I do is talk about trust. I might sometimes talk about credit or starting a business, but all of it is for the benefit of the private estate. Credit, benefit of the private. Why you start a business? So I can feed my family. Duh, nigga. To benefit the private estate. That's why we got corporations. That's why we got credit. What do you do with credit? Buy stuff for your house. Buy stuff for yourself. What do you do with the money you make for the business? Buy food for the family. So yeah, I stay on trust even when I'm not talking about trust. When I'm talking about corporations, or I'm talking about credit funding with Teron L, or these different things. Passport no social with Chris L. That's a protective mechanism for the estate. There will be no challenges or successful challenges to the trust as an entity after I pass. The IRS, these creditors, they're not going to be able to pierce the trust, because I'm teaching and have taught the heirs how to administer and how to stand on the validity of the trust, and not to allow these fools to impair the obligation of a contract. Legacy. Damn success. Who cares? It's fickle. It's temporary. Legacy. I'm in a mood, y'all, and I apologize, but it was really tough, seeing that little sister. And seeing the family and understanding that their legacy is not going to remain intact. And, I can offer help, but the private family foundation I administer is part of my private estate, not theirs. So it may be an event, 2, 3, 4, maybe. But if something happens to me and my heirs don't decide to continue that event, there goes that family's legacy, because they don't have their own structures to perpetuate their legacy on their own. And if you don't have your own structure to perpetuate your legacy, it doesn't exist. People talking about, I want to avoid taxes, and I want to be private and be left alone. And everybody, most people come at this from a selfish standpoint. And I don't really get into it that much. Some people I talk to who don't know me, they think you talk like you're better than people. I'm not better than nobody. We both got booty holes and nasty stuff comes out of them. What separates me from most people is the things that I do and the things that I don't do. And I'll stand on that until the day I die. I do different things on purpose. I grind how most won't so I can live how most can't on a daily basis. And I live for my deathbed. I picture myself with tubes in my nose and laying in this bed on hospice or whatever, and I know I'm about to die. And I try to anticipate my what ifs, my shouldas and my wouldas and my couldas. I try to anticipate all the ways that my younger self let my older self down, all the things that I cannot go back and do differently. I do my best to think like that every single day. Because the worst thing to me is being upset with myself or ashamed regarding something I did or didn't do that's in the past, and I can't go fix it. I can't go change it. I can't go upgrade it. It's over. That's one of the worst things for me. But that's just me. The 5 elements to a contract: meeting of the minds, offer, acceptance, performance, consideration. Let this be the offer. If you are interested in trustee training, email me at admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Articulate your interest in an email, and I will respond to you with all of the information you'll need to make a decision moving forward. Whether you decide to move forward or not, that's acceptance or non-acceptance or decline. I'm not a salesman. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and convince you need a family estate. And these are all the reasons why. I'm going to sit here and offer up reasons as to why it's beneficial and why everyone should have it. But am I going to sell you on it? No. It's offering acceptance in private. If you're interested, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. Trustee training is every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You do it on the conference line. I send you a private trust manual written by private attorneys. I assist you in setting up your business trust, your asset protection trust, and your family trust. I assist you in the document preparation. I assist you with the short form and the long form. Short form trust indentures, which use to evidence the existence of the private trust in the public. Long form trust indenture is private and only for the trustees and successor trustees and beneficiaries. You want to get into LLCs and how to properly title the shares of a corporation or life insurance, private family banking, endowments, private placement accounts, whatever. I've been mentored on all of this stuff. And what I've done is all the flights that I've taken to see multiple mentors, all of the specific documents that I've accumulated over the years of studying trust and being mentored in trust is in a Google Drive cloud folder, and it's called Trustee Dissemination. And trustees get access to this folder. There's a lot of stuff in there that's not on the website. And we keep it moving. Trustees get my private number. You can call me whenever you want. If I don't answer, I'm busy. I'll call you back. You can shoot me a text. And there's no charges for consultations for trustees. Because this is about legacy. And trustees stay in training as long as you want. There's no time limit. It's not school. It's not a course that you're going to get quizzed and tested on in front of everybody so you feel silly or something. That's not how it works. Everyone has a different learning style. There's predominantly 4 main different learning styles. The training is structured to meet minimally all 4 main learning styles. And trustee training is just that, training a trustee. I don't like people being dependent on me unless they're my dependents. I like colleagues. I like those who know what I know and can do what I know, and then we collaborate with what we know and do bigger things together. I don't like people needing to depend on me. Some people get a kick out of it, withholding documents and stuff like that or whatever. I don't know. I've seen it happen. I'm not that type of dude. Legacy. What's your legacy going to be? And how long will it be intact and in existence after you dust this flesh off of your soul? I'm not taking any callers, yo. I appreciate y'all. I definitely love y'all. Y'all call your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Hug them tight. Quit tripping on bullshit, little stupid stuff that's petty, because you're going to be very mad at yourself if you can no longer interact with this person and you can't say you're sorry and have them look at you and say it's okay. Appreciate what you have before it's gone. And work towards preparing your estate properly and educating your heirs properly so that you are properly remembered and your legacy will outlast you. You have an opportunity to set up your private family trust so that everyone in your family for 10 generations will all look back and say, this is the family member that set this up for us. The one who does it first is never forgotten. Remember that. I love y'all. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Love the ones around you. Quit playing. For most of us, life is good. We just be focusing on the negatives. It's all about the day, because tomorrow never comes, and it may not never come. And at some point in time, the day will begin without you. And those that are left behind are going to have to deal with what you did do or what you didn't do. I love y'all. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.